If you are over 70 and your knees feel weaker, more unstable, or more painful every month, there's a serious possibility that the decline is not just aging. It may be something you are unintentionally accelerating. This is the part most people are never told. By the time knee pain becomes constant, structural degeneration has often been progressing silently for years. Cartilage has already thinned, the joint environment has already changed, the muscles that stabilize your knees have already begun to weaken. And if you are relying mostly on pain medication to manage this, you may be masking signals your body is desperately trying to send you. Pain medication can reduce discomfort, but it does not stop cartilage thinning. It does not restore synovial fluid. It does not correct muscle loss. In some cases, it allows you to continue harmful movement patterns without realizing the damage being done underneath. Injections may temporarily reduce inflammation. Braces may provide external support, but neither addresses what is happening at the cellular level inside the joint. And the advice to just rest can be one of the most harmful recommendations after 70. Because after 70, inactivity does not preserve your knees, it accelerates decline. There is a biological shift that happens with aging that most people are never told about. Your body's signaling systems begin to fail. This includes reduced collagen signaling, mitochondrial slowdown inside cartilage cells, and something called inflammaging, a chronic low-grade inflammatory state that slowly damages joint tissue over time. Your synovial fluid, which lubricates your knee joint, begins to thin and dry out. Blood flow to joint structures decreases. Your quadriceps muscles, which are critical for shock absorption, begin to waste away if not actively maintained. This is not just about pain, this is about progression. If nothing changes, mobility declines. As mobility declines, fall risk increases. And as falls increase, the consequences become more severe. Fractures, loss of independence, and a rapid downward spiral in overall health. After 70, inaction is not neutral, it is decline. So in this video, I am going to walk you through the most critical interventions that most doctors either overlook or underestimate. I will rank them from least urgent to most urgent, with the number one factor being the one you need to address immediately if your knees are weakening. All research is linked in the description. Before we go further, I want to ask you something. How old are you right now? How long have your knees been getting worse? Do you feel instability when you walk or stand? Have you reduced your activity because of pain? I read and respond to comments, and your answers help guide what I explain next. Now, let's go deeper. Starting with number 6. One of the most overlooked contributors to knee decline after 70 is poor hydration at the joint level. Most seniors believe hydration is about drinking enough water, but the real issue is not just total water intake, it is the ability of your tissues to retain and utilize that fluid. Inside your knees, cartilage depends on water to maintain its structure and shock-absorbing ability. When hydration at the cellular level declines, cartilage becomes more brittle, less resilient, and more prone to breakdown under pressure. At the same time, synovial fluid, which lubricates your joints, becomes less viscous. It loses its cushioning effect. Movement becomes less smooth. Friction increases. What most seniors are doing wrong is assuming that mild dehydration has minimal impact, but in aging tissue, even small deficits can significantly affect joint function. Biologically, what is happening is a reduction in proteoglycans, molecules that help cartilage hold water. As these decline, the cartilage loses its ability to maintain hydration. Studies show that even modest improvements in hydration status can improve joint comfort and reduce stiffness in older adults. After 70, this becomes critical because your body's ability to regulate fluid balance becomes less efficient. Implementation is simple but specific. Aim for consistent fluid intake throughout the day rather than large amounts at once. Include electrolyte-rich fluids when appropriate, especially if you are physically active. A realistic improvement here is not dramatic pain relief. It is subtle but measurable. Reduced morning stiffness, slightly smoother movement, a small but meaningful reduction in joint discomfort. Now we move to the next level. Number 5 is protein timing and distribution. Most seniors focus on total protein intake, but they ignore timing. And after 70, this becomes a major mistake. Your body develops something called anabolic resistance. This means your muscles don't respond to protein the same way they did when you were younger. The quadriceps muscle, which stabilizes your knee, becomes especially vulnerable. As it weakens, your knee loses shock absorption. More stress is transferred directly to the joint. What most seniors are doing wrong is eating small amounts of protein spread too thinly throughout the day or consuming most of it in one meal. Biologically, this leads to inadequate stimulation of muscle protein synthesis. Your muscles are not receiving a strong enough signal to maintain or rebuild. Research shows that older adults require higher quality protein and sufficient doses per meal to stimulate muscle maintenance. After 70, this becomes critical because muscle loss accelerates joint degeneration. Implementation requires structure. Aim for at least 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal, especially at breakfast and lunch. Focus on sources rich in essential amino acids. Over time, you may notice improved leg strength, better stability when standing, and reduced fatigue during walking. Even a 10 to 15% improvement in muscle strength can significantly reduce joint load. Now we move deeper. Number 4 is controlled movement, not rest. This is where many people get it dangerously wrong. When knees hurt, the natural instinct is to reduce movement, but prolonged inactivity leads to rapid muscle loss, reduced blood flow, and increased stiffness. Inside the joint, lack of movement reduces nutrient exchange. Cartilage does not have its own blood supply. It relies on movement to receive nutrients and remove waste. What most seniors are doing wrong is avoiding movement out of fear. Biologically, this accelerates cartilage thinning and synovial fluid decline. Studies show that controlled, low-impact movement improves joint function, reduces stiffness, and helps maintain cartilage health. After 70, this becomes essential because your body depends on mechanical stimulation to maintain joint integrity. Implementation should be gentle but consistent. Short daily walks, seated leg extensions, and slow sit-to-stand exercises can be enough to stimulate the joint without overloading it. The improvement here is gradual but measurable. Better joint mobility, reduced stiffness after sitting, increased confidence in movement. Now we move to a deeper biological factor. Number 3 is chronic inflammation, specifically inflaming. Most people think inflammation is something you feel, but after 70, much of it is silent. Low-grade inflammation continuously damages joint tissue, breaks down cartilage, and interferes with repair processes. What most seniors are doing wrong is focusing only on pain relief instead of addressing the underlying inflammatory environment. Biologically, inflammatory markers increase, and cartilage cells, called chondrocytes, begin to function less effectively. Research shows that reducing systemic inflammation can slow joint degeneration and improve function. After 70, this becomes critical because your body's ability to regulate inflammation declines. Implementation involves diet and lifestyle, reduced processed foods, increase intake of anti-inflammatory nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, maintain consistent sleep patterns as inflammation often spikes at night. The improvement here is gradual but measurable. Better joint mobility, reduced stiffness after sitting, increased confidence in movement. Now we move to a deeper biological factor. Number 3 is collagen signaling and joint repair capacity. Most seniors assume that once cartilage is damaged, nothing can be done. That is not entirely accurate. While cartilage regeneration is limited, the body still has the ability to support and maintain existing tissue if the right signals are present. What most seniors are doing wrong is ignoring the need for collagen support and assuming supplements alone will solve the problem. Biologically, collagen production declines with age. The signals that tell your body to maintain joint structure weaken. Studies suggest that targeted collagen intake, combined with vitamin C and mechanical loading, can support joint integrity. After 70, this becomes critical because your natural production is significantly reduced. Implementation involves consistent intake of collagen-rich foods or supplements, combined with light resistance exercises to stimulate the joint. Over time, this can lead to improved joint stability and reduced discomfort during movement. Now we reach the most urgent factor. Number 1 is a mineral that most doctors do not emphasize enough in knee health after 70: magnesium. This is not about general nutrition. This is about a specific biological role that becomes critical as you age. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic processes in the body, but in the context of knee health, its role in muscle function, inflammation regulation, and cellular energy production is what makes it essential. What most seniors are doing wrong is being chronically deficient without realizing it. Biologically, low magnesium levels contribute to muscle weakness, increased inflammation, poor mitochondrial function, and impaired tissue repair. Inside your knees, this affects how muscles stabilize the joint, how cells produce energy, and how inflammation is controlled. Research shows that magnesium deficiency is associated with increased inflammation and reduced muscle performance. After 70, this becomes critical because your body's ability to regulate inflammation declines. Implementation involves diet and lifestyle, reduced processed foods, increase intake of anti-inflammatory nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, maintain consistent sleep patterns as inflammation often spikes at night. The improvement is often noticeable within weeks: slightly improved muscle function, reduced cramping, better stability when walking, a modest but meaningful reduction in joint discomfort. Not a cure, not a reversal, but a measurable improvement in how your knees function. And that is the point. Your knees do not need a miracle. They need consistent, targeted intervention. Most doctors focus on symptoms, not progression. This decline is silent at first. By the time you feel constant pain, structural changes may already be underway. But that does not mean nothing can be done. It means you need to act differently. Consistency matters more than intensity. Small improvements, 10%, 15%, or even 20%, can mean the difference between independence and decline. Knee deterioration is not completely inevitable, but ignoring it is dangerous. So take action this week. Start with one of these interventions and build from there. And I want to know, what are you starting first? Tell me.